Astor presents the Screen Guild Players. The Screen Guild play tonight, Remember the Day. The starring players...
This is Olivia de Havilland.
And this is Walter Pigeon.
Tonight, Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players in a radio adaptation of the 20th Century Fox screen success, Remember the Day, from the story by Philo Higley and Philip Dunning, and starring Olivia de Havilland as Nora Trinell and Walter Pigeon as Dan Hopkins. In the banquet room of Washington's Mayflower Hotel, political bigwigs are waiting for Dewey Roberts to speak, accepting his nomination as party candidate for the presidency of the United States. But while the politicians wait, Dewey Roberts sits in his hotel suite talking with an old friend, Nora Trinell, who was his schoolteacher back home in Indiana.
Remember the day you kept me after school and made me write, I beg your pardon, 500 times, Miss Trinell?
Very well, Dewey. That was the day I met Dan Hopkins, and we had our first argument.
Oh, I remember. You wanted to take the class to see a matinee of Midsummer Night's Dream. And Dan had us scheduled to play an important ball game.
27 years ago. Yet, when I close my eyes, I can still see Dan coming through that classroom door.
I beg your pardon. Are you Miss Trinell?
Yes?
I'm Dan Hopkins, one of your colleagues.
Oh, yes. How do you do?
Well, Miss Trinell, it seems we got our signals a little mixed.
Yes?
Yes. You see, I've scheduled a very important baseball game for tomorrow afternoon.
Well, I'm afraid you'll have to postpone the game, Mr. Hopkins.
But that's impossible. Now, why don't you postpone your matinee?
Well, you see, I can't. It's the only matinee they're playing.
Oh. Well, I'm afraid we're in the position of the irresistible force and the immovable object, aren't we?
Well, I don't know how immovable an object you may be, Mr. Hopkins, but in this matter, I'm afraid I'll have to be irresistible.
You are, in any matter.
What? Oh, well, I think we'd better let the principal decide this.
No, wait a minute. We're two grown, intelligent people.
Are we?
Well, what I mean is, perhaps we ought to talk this over further without bringing Mr. Steele into it.
Did I hear you mention my name, Mr. Hopkins?
In a way, yes.
Did you wish to see me about something?
Well, no. As a matter of fact, I didn't.
I do, Mr. Steele.
It wasn't anything of importance.
Oh, I think it was.
Yes, Miss Trinell.
Well, Mr. Hopkins and I were having a little argument, Mr. Steele, and I thought perhaps you might be able to settle it.
Well, it wasn't anything really.
Go on, Miss Trinell.
Well, we were just arguing about whether or not this taxing of one's income is constitutional.
Oh. You don't have to worry about that, Miss Trinell. The House of Representatives will never pass an income tax law.
Oh.
You see, that's exactly what I told you.
Thank you. Both of you.
That's quite all right, Miss Trinell. I'm glad to see you and Mr. Hopkins taking such an interest in national issues. If you have any more questions, I'll be in my office.
Do you have any more questions?
No.
Well, if you think of any, I'll be waiting outside.
So instead of the class going to the matinee of Midsummer Night's Dream, we kids got to play our ball game. And I hurt my knee and was out of school for the rest of the term. I remember making a boat model and asking you to come to my house to see it.
May I see the boat model you made, Dewey?
The boat's right over there in the mantel, Miss Trinell.
Why, Dewey.
I hope you don't think I was fresh naming it the Miss Trinell.
Why, it's just about the nicest thing that anyone ever did for me.
Gosh, you're beautiful, Miss Trudell.
You're practically overwhelming me with flattery, Dewey.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there's nothing to be sorry about. That was a very pretty compliment.
I certainly had a schoolboy crush on you, Miss Trudell. Incidentally, I still have that boat model, the Miss Trudell.
And I still have the one you made for me, the Mabel. That was the one that got Dan and me into so much trouble.
Oh, yes, I remember. Something happened during your summer vacation.
Well, at that time, you were too young to understand what happened. Dan wanted me to spend my vacation at the same resort he was going to. But I was afraid someone might place the wrong construction on our spending the summer together. So I went with the other women to get teachers to what practically amounted to an old maid's home. And after a couple of weeks, I was bored to death. Then one day, while I was hiking along a road getting away from the incessant woman's chatter, Dan drove up.
Hello, Nora.
Dan!
I just happened to be staying at a lake about 210 miles from here, so I thought I'd drop over.
Oh, I'm so glad to see you, Dan.
I wondered if you'd like to go for a drive.
Will the drive take me away from here to the place where you're spending your vacation?
That's what I had in mind.
Well, that's exactly where I want to go.
Well, hop in.
Prince Charming?
Yes, Princess.
How did you know I was waiting to be rescued?
I'm psychic.
I'm glad you brought me here.
I suppose you know that I'm in love with you. Did you hear what I said?
Mm-hmm.
What did I say?
You said, you were in love with me?
Well, at least you were listening.
Mm-hmm.
What have you to say about it?
Nothing. Except, oh, Dan, are you sure?
Now, love isn't like a problem in arithmetic, darling. You can't prove it, and you're never sure of the answers.
The lady at the hotel told me she'd like to see us married.
Uh-huh. But her husband wouldn't.
Why not?
Well, he's a businessman. When we're married, we'll only rent one room instead of two.
Oh. I think we'd better get back to the hotel.
Uh-huh.
I want to send a postcard to Dewey Roberts.
Say, that's an idea. I think I'll send him one, too, and remind him that school begins again next week. Good morning, Mr. Steele. Did you enjoy your vacation?
Yes, thank you.
You wished to see me?
Yes, Mr. Hopkins. A certain matter has come to my attention.
Uh-huh.
A delicate matter.
Oh.
One of great concern to me as principal of Auburn School.
Well, what is it, Mr. Steele?
Have you ever seen this postcard before?
Why, yes, I sent that to Dewey Roberts. It's a picture of the Mabel.
In my 23 years as principal of Auburn Grammar School, there has never been a tinge of scandal to smirch my record.
I'm afraid I don't follow you, Mr. Steele.
I'm asking you to resign today.
What?
Now. And if you refuse, I shall arrange for your immediate dismissal. We'll nip this in the bud before it gets beyond control.
Before what gets beyond control?
You admit you sent that card?
Certainly. What of it?
Here's a card sent by Miss Trudell. Sent from the same place at approximately the same time of the same day.
Where did you get these cards, Mr. Steele?
They fell into my hands quite by accident.
Oh.
Fortunately, no one else has seen them. But believe me, Mr. Hopkins, if the parents of the children of this school learned that you and Miss Trudell had spent the entire summer together, they'd tar and feather you and run you out of town.
Just what are you insinuating when you say spent the summer together?
You're missing the point, Mr. Hopkins. I'm not attempting to judge your moral conduct. But like myself, you're a teacher. You're in public life, and you must set an example. And I must make an example of you.
I see. Mr. Steele, there's no one to blame in this matter but myself. I deliberately went where Miss Trudell was. Suppose I hand in my resignation. Wouldn't that be sufficient without causing her a lot of embarrassment? Why should she even have to know about it if, as you say, no one else knows but you?
I think that could be arranged, Mr. Hopkins.
Thank you, Mr. Steele. May I speak with you for a moment, please, Miss Trudell?
Certainly. Class, read pages 36 to 41, inclusive. What is it, dear?
You're beautiful, Nora. You never looked so beautiful.
Oh, Dan, did you call me out of class just to tell me?
No, stand there. Stand there against the wall in case you faint. I have something exciting to tell you.
Are you insane?
Only about you. Nora, I'm going out to start conquering new worlds.
You're talking as if you were out of your head.
I'm happy, that's all. Come on, have you got the nerve?
Got the nerve for what?
To quit school and marry me right now. This minute.
But, Dan, I'm teaching here.
Resign.
Oh, Dan, we're two responsible people. We just can't pass up duties and obligations because we want to.
Well, I have.
Oh, no, Dan.
Oh, yes, Nora.
Oh, Dan. We should have talked it over first. What did Mr. Steele say?
Oh, he fussed and blustered around, but he finally saw it my way.
Dan, there's something wrong.
No, Nora, it's right. Absolutely right. Well, I guess you're right, too. It would be silly for both of us to pick up and leave at the same time at that.
When are you leaving?
Now.
Now. Are you sure you're not keeping something from me, Dan?
What could I possibly want to keep from you, darling?
I don't know. It's just that I've never seen you quite like this before.
I've never seen me like this either. But I'll be back soon, I hope. And I'll put rings on your fingers and bells on your toes.
Oh, darling, I love you so.
That's the way to talk. Now, don't come down to the door with me. Just stand there on the landing and let me fill my eyes with you, just as you are, Miss Trunell. Smile. Just a little. There. I'll always remember you like that. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Dan! Dan! I knew there was something wrong.
And so the curtain falls on the first act of Remember the Day, starring Walter Pidgeon and Olivia de Havilland. Before we hear Act 2, a word from our hostess, Lady Esther.
Just yesterday, I was talking to a man, a well-known artist, who happened to be a judge in a beauty contest not long ago. He told me what a problem it was for him and the other judges to decide on a winner, because all the girls were so lovely. I was interested in a man's viewpoint, so I said, "How did you finally choose the winner? What decided you?" "Well," he said, "there was one girl who wasn't actually any prettier than the others, but she had such a gorgeous skin that we felt we just had to name her the winner." Yes, the girl with a lovely skin is always a winner, always outstanding. And any girl can have a lovelier skin. Any girl can have a softer, smoother, more attractive skin by using Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream. For you see, every time you use Lady Esther Face Cream, here's what it does. First, it cleans your skin so thoroughly that no stubborn dirt can stay lodged in the pore openings. Second, it softens your skin and relieves the brittle dryness that may cause little lines. Third, it helps nature refine the pores. And fourth, it leaves a smooth, perfect base for powder. Just try Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream. And when you touch the soft, new smoothness of your skin, when you see in your mirror the look of radiant, new freshness your skin has taken on, you'll know you've discovered a truly beautifying face cream at last.
And now we raise the curtain on Act 2 of Remember the Day, starring Olivia de Havilland as Nora Trunell and Walter Pidgeon as Dan Hopkins. In the banquet room, the politicians are still waiting for Dewey Roberts, while Dewey continues reminiscing with Nora Trunell.
When Mr. Hopkins left town so unexpectedly, it certainly gave Auburn a scandal to talk about, Miss Trunell.
Yes, Mr. Steele's secretary had overheard just enough of his conversation with Dan to start a torrent of malicious gossip. And the story of Dan's leaving town because of an affair he was having with a girl named Mabel had so many seemingly authentic points, even I almost believed it. Until you came to my school and Come in.
I waited until after school to bring you this, Miss Trinnell. I think it's the best boat model I ever made.
Well, thank you, Dewey. It's lovely.
Do you recognize the Mabel?
Mabel?
Yeah. I copied it from the picture postcard you sent me. Your card was perfect for the beam, and I got the side view for Mr. Hopkins' picture.
Mr. Hopkins' picture?
Yeah, he sent me a picture of the Mabel, too.
Mabel? Mabel? Why, of course, Dewey. It was the Mabel, wasn't it?
Huh?
Dewey, did you show those picture postcards to anyone?
Only Mr. Steele.
Only Mr. Steele.
He has to borrow them.
Oh, thank you, Dewey. You're a darling. I'll keep the Mabel always.
Is this a night letter, Miss Trinnell?
Yes, full-rate telegram.
You got more than 10 words, you know. Night letter'll get there the first thing in the morning.
Dan drives fast.
Mr. Dan Hopkins, Engineers Club, Chicago, Illinois. Dan, my darling, you are such a dear, gallant fool. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, Nora. You could cut out this last love you. You've already said it 3 times. Love Nora means the same thing as I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
No, you send it just as it is, please. It's a secret code.
Mr. Hopkins got some sort of engineering job with a Chicago firm after he left Auburn, didn't he, Miss Trinnell?
Yes, Dewey. We were going to be married the next June as soon as school was out. Dan's company was sending him to Honduras, and the trip was going to be our honeymoon. But on the day before Christmas, 1916, Dan returned to Auburn unexpectedly as Lieutenant Hopkins of the Royal Canadian Engineers. What are you doing in that uniform, Dan?
Well, I expect to do my bit.
Oh, I knew something would happen. Everything was too perfect to last.
Oh, darling, have a little confidence in me. Why, with me in this war, it'll be over in 6 months. It'll have to be. I have a very important date in June. Now, don't cry, darling.
I won't.
Look, I have 2 whole weeks before I have to report.
2 weeks?
2 whole weeks.
Dan, will you marry me right now? Right away?
Miss Trinnell, this is so sudden.
And for our honeymoon, we'll go to the same resort where we spend our vacation.
After 10 hours, what's your opinion of marriage, Mrs. Hopkins?
Well, I think that no family should be without one.
Ah, a reactionary, eh? You know, I've come to the conclusion that we're 2 of the nicest people I ever knew.
Oh, you may be, but I'm not.
Well, I won't argue with you. Anyway, you're beautiful.
No, definitely no. That's just your masculine ego. A man thinks his wife has to be beautiful because he picked her.
I still say you're beautiful.
No. If anyone in our family is beautiful, darling, it's you.
You think so?
Yes.
Well, if you insist. Yeah, but by golly, I guess you're right.
Oh, Dan, darling, I love you so. I'm going to be so terribly, terribly lonesome. Stop the world, please, darling. Stop. Thank you so much.
It can't stand still indefinitely, Nora.
I know. But let's try to forget it. There's so much I still have to know about you. All the things that happened when you were a child.
Oh, there was nothing unusual. Mumps and measles. Say, I thought I told you that you weren't to cry.
I'm not crying. Oh, I'm so sorry, darling. I wanted to be brave and gay and amusing and make it easy for you to leave when our time is up, but I can't. I'm selfish. You've given me the world. And I want to keep it.
Keep it for me, too, dear.
Oh, Dan, I'm frightened. I'm frightened at the thought of being alone. But I suppose in the end, we all have to stand alone.
You won't be alone. I'll be back. You can bank on that. I'll always be with you.
Those 2 weeks Dan and I had together were glorious, Dewey. But they ended too soon. We went back to Auburn, and almost before we knew it, the day for Dan's departure arrived. He didn't want me to go to the station with him for fear we'd cry, so I kissed him goodbye and walked over to your house. You'd been acting strangely from the time Dan returned to Auburn, and though I didn't connect the two, I was anxious to learn what was wrong with my favorite pupil.
Well, I was just lovesick. I remember Steve Hill and I had quite a battle when Steve said Mr. Hopkins had been forced to resign from school and leave town because he'd gotten into some sort of a mix-up with you. Then when I walked into your classroom one afternoon and saw you kissing Mr. Hopkins, the only thing I could think of was to leave town and go to another school.
I remember. You were packing when I reached your house, and your mother directed me to your room. May I come in, Dewey?
Can if you want to.
Oh, how wonderful, Dewey. You're first, aren't they?
They're just long pants, that's all.
I wouldn't let you go away without saying goodbye. Weren't you going to come and say goodbye to me?
No.
What's happened, Dewey?
What's happened to what?
To our old friendship.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, if you don't want to tell me, it's quite all right. Goodbye, Dewey. But I want to wish you luck. So much luck.
Oh, great guns. Don't be nice to me. Go ahead and laugh at me.
I'm not laughing, Dewey.
Anyway, you can tell him and have a lot of fun.
Dewey, my grandfather, the ship's captain I've told you so much about, used to say that when you run afoul dirty weather and there's a chance you may founder, spill your cargo, it's the ship that counts.
Well, I couldn't help it. The fellas were talking about you and Mr. Hopkins. That's what I fought Steve Hill about. Then I went up to your classroom to tell you I was sorry. And I saw him kissing you.
Oh, so that's it. I wonder what I should tell you. I'd like you to understand, you.
You don't have to tell me anything.
The way you're feeling now will pass, Dewey. Believe me. I know how awful it is when people and things disappoint you. It hurts. It hurts to find out that people you love are not stars, but human beings made of flesh and blood. But that's the way people are. And those are the things we learn as we grow up. I love Mr. Hopkins, and he loves me. But my love for him hasn't changed my affection for you. It's hard to grow up, Dewey. But you mustn't let anyone or anything throw you off your course. Because, you see, in the end, you'll have to stand by yourself.
Gee, Miss Trinnell, don't cry. Because if you cry, I'll cry.
I'm trying hard not to, Dewey. I'll tell your teacher's secret, Dewey. Each year, there's someone in the class who stands out. Someone whom the teacher counts on and loves as though that child were her own. You're one of those few, Dewey. So you mustn't let me down, Dewey. Will you remember that?
Yes'm.
And you'll remember me, too. A little?
Oh, of course, Miss Trinnell. Miss Trinnell, would you come to the station with me?
Oh, no. No, I couldn't do that. Mr. Hopkins is leaving on that train.
Oh, please. Just sort of be there to wave. That way I could never forget.
All right, Dewey. I'll be there.
Nora, I knew you'd be here.
How could you know, Dan? I just...
Remember I told you I was psychic? You were waiting to be rescued that day, Nora.
Yes, my darling. But you're leaving now. And I don't want to be left alone.
I'll be back, Nora. Dewey and I will both be back to rescue you again.
Of course you will, darling.
In a way, I won't even be leaving. I'll be with you every minute.
Wherever I go, whatever I do, you'll always be with me.
I remember another goodbye, Nora. I said, just stand there on the landing and let me fill my eyes with you, just as you are. Let me fill my eyes with your beauty.
Goodbye, Miss Trinnell. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Dewey. Au revoir, Dan. Au revoir.
Au revoir, darling. Smile. Smile. There. That's better. Much better. He really means it this time. So long, Nora. So long.
I'll never forget that, Miss Trinnell. Boy, was I proud to be riding with Mr. Hopkins, because he was in uniform. By the way, what's Mr. Hopkins doing now?
He didn't come back from France.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Well, does that mean you're alone now?
Alone? Why, I'm never alone, Dewey. Wherever I go, whatever I do, I have a crowd of memories to keep me company. Why, I remember the day.
Thank you, Olivia de Havilland and Walter Pigeon, for appearing with the Lady Esther Screen Guild players tonight.
That was our pleasure, Mr. Bradley. You see, the Motion Picture Relief Fund, which benefits from these programs, is very important to all of us in the industry. We're vitally interested in the fund and the country house and clinic which it supports. And now, here's a word from America's best-known beauty authority, Lady Esther.
Thank you, Mr. Haviland. Friends, do you know how a play becomes a hit, how a book becomes a bestseller? I'll tell you how. By people talking about the play, talking about the book, telling one another how wonderful it is. And that's exactly how Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream has become such a big hit with the women of America. Women have tried it, talked about it, told one another how much this one cream can do to improve and beautify the skin. Today, millions of women use Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream. And I just wish you could read some of the letters they write me. One elderly woman wrote that her skin now looks so much younger and fresher that she's the envy of many women half her age. You see, Lady Esther Face Cream is an entirely new and different kind of cream, designed to take care of these 4 vital needs of your skin. It thoroughly cleans your skin, removing dirt that ordinary washing often fails to remove. It softens your skin, loosening and absorbing the dry, clinging flakes. It helps nature refine the pores, and it leaves a smooth, perfect base for powder. Now, if you want proof that Lady Esther Face Cream brings your skin these 4 aids to beauty, just try it. Your mirror will show you all the proof you want in the new freshness, the soft, new loveliness of your skin. Many women say their skin looks years younger after just a few applications of Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream.
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild players will present Immortal Sergeant. It will star Francho Tone, Maureen O'Sullivan, Alan Mowbray, and Charles Irwin. Be sure to listen. Olivia de Havilland can now be seen in the Warner Brothers' latest comedy, Princess O'Rourke. Walter Pigeon can soon be seen in the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer production, Madame Curie. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. For economy's sake, get the largest size of Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream and the larger size of Lady Esther Face Powder. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther, saying thank you and good night, all.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players. The Screen Guild play tonight, Immortal Sergeant. The starring players...
This is Francho Tone.
This is Maureen O'Sullivan.
This is Alan Mowbray.
This is Charles Irwin. This is Morton Lowry.
Tonight, Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild players in the 20th Century Fox screen success, Immortal Sergeant, from the story by John Brophy. It stars Francho Tone as Corporal Colin Spence, Maureen O'Sullivan as Valentine Finch, Alan Mowbray as the Sergeant, Sergeant Kelly, Morton Lowry as Cottrell, and Charles Irwin as Tom Benedict. The Lady Esther Screen Guild players in Immortal Sergeant.
I say this whole patrol's idiotic. They never should have sent us out here in the first place. Desert patrol's a job for the Air Force.
Air Force? Air Force, I'm getting sick of hearing about it. You think the rest of us were out here on a picnic?
Well, I only said...
Listen, Cottrell. This war's going to be one like every other one. By men on their feet with guns in their hands, and don't you forget it. Ain't that so, Corporal? Corporal?
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, Sergeant.
Oh, dreaming, eh? Planning some great battle you're going to win, no doubt.
No. I'm afraid this was a battle I lost.
Oh, did you now? Took you by surprise, I'll bet. Too many for you. Where was it, lad?
A cocktail party in London.
Quiet.
I'm sorry, Sergeant. I guess it might seem sort of silly now, but it was rather important at the time. As a matter of fact, it was the most important thing in the world.
That was just after I'd seen Gandy, and the PM had asked me to discuss the situation with him. Dickie Mountbatten was going along, of course, and, well, Colin Spence.
Oh, hello, Tom. I'd like you to meet Valentine Finch. Val, this is Tom Benedict.
How do you do?
I'm delighted. You're on the films, aren't you?
Oh, no. I'm a pianist. Why?
Well, anyone so beautiful usually is.
Oh.
I expect Collins told you we used to be on the same paper. He has a head on his shoulders, this lad.
I'd suspected that.
Yes, but he's too self-effacing for these times. A bit too civilized for his own good. Hey, Colin?
I dare say you're right.
By the way, you two aren't engaged or anything, are you?
Why, no.
We're just very good friends.
Yeah, yes, that's it.
Oh, good gracious. I've got to run. I'm broadcasting to America in 40 minutes. Rather a nuisance, but there it is. I say, young lady, why don't you come along with me?
Oh, but we only just got here.
Well, I always need someone near to signal if I play any tricks or lose my nerve.
Oh, I think Colin would be so much better because...
Oh, no, I can't depend on Colin. He's a Canadian, different point of view. Colin, you won't mind, will you?
Why, no, I suppose not.
Oh, thanks. Thanks very much, old man. I promise I shan't keep him more than an hour. Young lady, there's a point or two I'd like very much to discuss with you.
Tom Benedict. Well, I guess he's the sort the sergeant would like to have out here now. The sergeant. He's got a job in his hands, all right. 6 out of 14 of us left. 6 out of 14. An Italian bomber got the rest. We got the motor lorry, too, all our supplies. That should be plenty to think about. 60 miles of desert to our base, no reserve food, no water, no petrol. Besides what's in the carrier tank. Well, why can't I just keep thinking of that? Why do I have to torment myself? Why do I have to keep thinking back?
I'm sorry, sir. This is the only table left.
But, waiter, I made reservations over a week ago. They promised me a good table.
Really, sir? I'm afraid there's been a mistake.
Oh, but this table's behind a column. We shan't be able to see a thing.
I'm sorry, madam. We're a bit crowded tonight. Excuse me, please.
Colin, they promised you a good table. Why don't you make them give it to you?
Well, but, Val, if this is the only table they have, I mean...
Oh, don't bother. It really doesn't matter.
Valentine. Colin.
Tom Benedict.
Well, what do you mean by hiding away back here?
Well, I had reservations, but there was some mistake.
Oh, nonsense. They don't make mistakes here. I hope you raised a row.
Colin doesn't like rows.
Well, can't say I do either, but you jolly well have to stick up for your rights. Waiter.
Yes, Mr. Benedict.
I'd like my friends to have a decent table.
But really, sir, there's no space left.
Then make some space. Put another table alongside mine.
Really, Tom, I don't...
Not a word, Colin, not a word. You're going to be my guest. Matter of fact, you're saving my life. I've been so beastly bored all evening.
How much further is it, Sergeant?
Well, I'd say about 40 miles, Symes. Maybe 45.
We're pretty far from our base.
Not as far as we were this morning, Pilcher.
That motor sounds bad.
Just like you, Cottrell. Always worried about something. It's a little sand in the carburetor, that's all. We'll clean it out when we stop.
Well, I guess this is it, Sergeant.
All right, Cassidy. Do you want to get at that carburetor now?
Wouldn't do any good. We're out of petrol.
No petrol, no water. We're done for, I
Not
tell you.
yet, Cottrell. All right, time to knock off and rest a bit, men. Over there in the shade by that dune. Go on now, hop it.
No, Sergeant.
Corporal?
What'll we do, Sergeant?
Well, what do you think we'll do? We'll walk. Why did you join the infantry anyway? All right, men. 1 cup of water apiece.
It's funny you should ask me that. Why did I join? I tried to tell somebody once because she looked so surprised. I wonder if she ever understood.
Oh, Colin. In uniform. How? Why? When did you do it?
Today?
I never dreamed you were even thinking of it.
Well, I wasn't till yesterday. The uniform doesn't fit very well, does it? They said once you're in the ranks, you either put weight on or take it off. I imagine it'll look better either way.
You aren't going to try for a commission?
Well, I'm afraid I'll have my hands full being what I am. But you really are surprised, aren't you?
Well, you never talked about the war very much. I thought... Was it Dunkirk? What they did at Rotterdam that got you?
No, not exactly.
Then you think they're really going to invade us?
I don't know what they're going to do. And I don't know how to explain it. You see, there was a waiter I used to know in Paris in a little cafe on the left bank. I was working on my novel, and sometimes when it hadn't gone well, I wouldn't be able to eat, and he'd be angry with me, terribly angry. This doesn't make sense at all, does it?
Please go on.
Well, Joe and I were friends, good friends. Late at night, we used to sit and talk and talk. Well, I saw Joe yesterday.
Here?
In a newsreel, in a crowd of Frenchmen being herded along by German soldiers. And suddenly Joe turned and looked straight at me. That's all. He just looked at me and... I told you it didn't make any sense.
But it does. It makes a great deal of sense. Now we should really be going along. We're terribly late. But if I walk in with a uniform, I'm sure they'll accept our apology.
Shouldn't Cassidy be back by now, Sergeant?
I told him to stay out as long as he could. That's one thing, Corporal. Always keep a man out in front.
Blasted sand's hot enough to fry an egg if we had an egg.
It's water I need. I don't see why we
I
can't...
warned you, Cottrell. Don't talk about water. Don't even think about it.
Got much further to go, Sergeant?
Don't you worry, Symes. They'll be picking us up. As soon as they figure we're overdue, they'll be sending out a relief patrol.
Sergeant! Sergeant!
It's Cassidy. Maybe they're coming for us now.
Better hold it, Sergeant. Armored car up ahead about half a mile. Looks like one of the rebels.
What? Rebels?
Hey.
I thought we'd won this blooming campaign.
Armored car, eh? Well, maybe we can slip past it in the dark. Unless you'd like to sneak up on them and give them a little surprise party. Well, there can't be more than 6 in the crew. A few grenades, and they'll never know what hit them. What do you say, lads? How about you, Corporal?
Well, I was only thinking it's a pity to destroy a good armored car if we can just snaffle it undamaged.
Say, now, that's an idea.
Don't you imagine the crew will be sleeping out in the sand? Perhaps if we give them a good shaking up, can't we get away in the car ourselves?
Do you hear that, lads? Now, there's a man deserves to wear his stripes. All right, we'll stop here and rest until it's dark. And then we drop in on Jerry for a social call.
Half after 11, Sergeant. Shall I wake the men?
No, you might as well give them a few minutes more.
Just as you say.
Corporal, what would you say if I told you that we were lost?
Lost? What? You have a compass.
It's no good. That bomb blast knocked the needle all ski-whiff.
Oh, that's pretty bad, then. It's worse than I thought.
The reason I'm telling you is if anything happens to me, you're next in command.
Me? But nothing's going to happen to you, Sergeant. It can't.
Nor will it, lad. Nor will it if I can help it. Still, if I do cop a packet, you'll have to get this patrol back safely, and it don't look any too easy a job.
Well, but I can't take a command like this with other men's lives depending on me. I haven't had the experience. I don't know enough about soldiering. I'm just a civilian. with a couple of chevrons on my sleeve.
Well, come to think of it, that's what we all are.
No, but it's different with you. You've been in the Army all your life. You know your job. The men depend on you.
Don't worry. They'll depend on you quick enough. You know, I've been sort of watching you, Corporal. For a wartime trained amateur, you're not too bad.
Well, thank you, Sergeant, but...
All right. You can shake up the men. We may as well get this little job over with.
Remember, Cassidy, I take the sentry on the right. You take the other one.
I've had him squared on my side for the last 10 minutes. What are we waiting for?
Well, the sergeant's going to start it with a Lewis gun. He's on the other side with Cottrell.
Cottrell? That's worse than being alone.
Hey, that's it. Now. I got mine.
Got mine. All right, let's go, Corporal.
What's that? Look, the car. It's got the petrol tank. It's going up. Come on.
Sort of funny, ain't it? Me getting mine and a little two before scrap.
Now, that's no way to talk, Sergeant. This won't be your last fight. I'll have this leg patched up in a minute.
It's no use, Corporal. The bone is smashed. I sure could use that car right now.
Well, what happened?
Cottrell lost his head and he tossed a grenade.
Cottrell? I'd like to toss him somewhere.
What about those Jerrys?
Well, we got them all.
And us?
Symes, I think.
Well, one less you'll have to worry about.
Me?
You'll be in command.
But...
And you listen to me while I can still talk. Drive 'em hard. Watch the water. And clear out of here quick. This fire will be seen for miles.
Yeah, but you can't move yet.
You're going without me.
The devil we are.
Corporal Spence, I'm still in command of this patrol, and I'm given an order.
Well, I'm sorry. Maybe when we get back, you can report me for insubordination. Now, behave yourself while I go have a look at Symes.
Well, if that's how you want it. Just put my rifle over here, will you?
What for?
Well, maybe I can use it as a sort of crutch.
Oh, all right. You don't mind if I break these shells out, do you?
You think I was going to do myself in? For tuppence, I'd have those stripes off your arm.
Don't get excited, Sergeant. I'll be right back. Pilcher. Cassidy, over here, Corporal. How is he, Cassidy?
It's all over, Corporal.
Poor chap. He's better off.
Hey, where did that come from?
Over that way.
The sergeant?
But he couldn't. I took all his shells.
He always carried an extra clip in his pocket.
Well, I guess that leaves 4 of us, Corporal. You're in command.
So ends Act One of Immortal Sergeant, starring Alan Mowbray, Charles Irwin, Morton Lowry, Maureen O'Sullivan, and Francho Tone. Before we hear Act Two, a word from our hostess, Lady Esther.
Have you ever looked at the soft, smooth skin of a child and thought, if only my skin looked like that? Have you ever touched a child's skin, touched the delicate silken texture of it, and thought, if only my skin felt like that? But look at your skin, feel the texture of it. Is it a little dry, a little flaky? Are there rough spots here and there, little lines due to dryness, perhaps a few large pores? Now, here's what I'd like you to do. Get a jar of Lady Esther four-purpose face cream, the smallest size will do, and use it morning and night for just a few days. Then look at your skin again. Feel it with your fingertips. When you see how Lady Esther face cream brings back the look of girlish softness and smoothness to your skin, when you feel how much more delicate and satiny your skin has become, you'll know you've found a lifelong friend to your appearance. Lady Esther face cream takes care of not 1 or 2, but 4 important needs of your skin. First, it thoroughly cleans your skin. Second, it softens your skin and relieves flaky dryness. Third, it makes your skin look younger and lovelier by helping nature refine the pores. And fourth, it makes a smooth, perfect base for powder. So you see, you can say goodbye to all other creams and lotions when you change to Lady Esther four-purpose face cream. And I can promise you that before long your friends will be telling you how much younger and lovelier your skin looks.
And now the curtain rises on the second act of Immortal Sergeant.
4 of us, he said, when I'm in command. All right. Maybe I'm not as good a man as the sergeant. I never said I was. But we're moving forward. Maybe if we just traveled at night. No, we need the sun for direction. The sun, that's a ghastly sort of joke. We need the sun. The blasted, burning, blistering sun.
Corporal, just wondering, please.
You've had your water ration for this morning, Cottrell. Keep moving.
Corporal.
Yes, Cassidy.
Nothing. I was just thirsty. Forget it.
I tell you, lads, those are wheel tracks. We're getting near home.
Sure thing. Near the Jerry's, maybe.
Suppose they are Jerry's. We can give ourselves up. It's better than dying here of thirst.
Cottrell, I warned you. That'll teach you to talk about giving up. See, I didn't know I had that much strength left.
Cassidy, you know I could cry enough for that.
Sorry, Corporal. Did I ought to have asked permission first?
Let's just say I didn't see it. Get up, Cottrell. We're moving on. What's the matter, Pilcher? Those grenades getting heavy?
No, I can manage,
You
Corporal.
know, the sergeant said to keep a man out in front. Suppose you go on up ahead. I'll take the grenades.
What good is a Lewis gun now? Why don't we just bury it? Leave it here.
We're still a fighting unit, Cottrell. We'll keep our weapons as long as we're alive.
Honest, I saw it with my own eyes. Off there to the right. Less than a mile. An oasis.
That means water.
If we can only get to
Now, wait a minute, Pilcher. Are you sure?
I know what you're thinking, Corporal, but this wasn't no mirage. The Jerrys had got a plane there. They were tuning up the motors. I could hear them. Nobody never saw no mirage with sound.
How many Jerrys are there?
I counted 20 of the swine.
20 of them. And 4 of us.
What do you figure we ought to do, Corporal?
I don't know, Cassidy. Maybe we'd better rest here, maybe, for a while. I mean, we can't do anything till dark, anyway, and I want a chance to think. All right, Mr. Corporal Collins Spence, it's up to you. Do you stay out here and die of thirst or go in there and kill as many as you can and then get killed yourselves? Or do you surrender? Nothing really dishonorable about that? To eat again and drink again and be in the shade? Still, Cassidy wouldn't like that very much, and neither would the sergeant. I bet the sergeant would. The sergeant, he said it was my job to get him back. But how? Maybe if I cleared my mind for a while, maybe if I thought of something else, maybe if I thought of Valentine. That's it. Think of Valentine. The last time you saw her, at the station. She'd come down to see me off. She looked so troubled as she stood there talking.
Well, I expect this is really goodbye.
Yes, it'll seem strange not being able to see you or talk to you.
Nothing to prevent our writing, is there?
Well, no, I suppose not.
Hurry it up, lads.
Well, there's not much longer.
No. Tom Benedict said he'd meet us here. I hope he wasn't caught in the alert. He'll be terribly disappointed if he doesn't get down to say goodbye.
You've been seeing a lot of Tom lately, haven't you?
Yes, quite a lot.
I should think it'd be very exciting to be married to a man like Tom who's in the thick of things.
Yes, I expect it would be, rather.
I can understand how any woman would like a man who does things. Like Tom. He looks a problem straight in the face and makes a decision about it.
Yes. Every woman looks for that sort of thing in a man. It's something she'd really like to help him with. Only sometimes she can't. He has to find it within himself. Colin.
Val, dear,
Well, there you are.
It's Tom.
Those confounded Jerrys would have to cause an alert today. Almost kept me from getting here. Brought you some books, Colin.
Oh, thanks, Tom.
You know, I still think you're a bit of an ass going off as a private.
Perhaps I'd prefer it this way.
Oh, no offense, old man. Maybe you're right. Dare say it's the most comfortable way at that. Taking orders, just having yourself to worry about.
All right, lads. Time to shove off.
Well, this is it.
Goodbye, Colin. Good luck.
See you come back in one piece, my boy.
Sure. Well, anyway, I'll try.
Now, wait a minute, Corporal. You can't go into that oasis alone with all them Jerry's there.
We'll die if we don't get some water. And maybe I can snaffle some food.
Why should you go? Why don't we all go?
One man would have a better chance.
We could draw lots.
Forget it, Cassidy. I'm the only unmarried man here.
But suppose they discover you. Supposing they start shooting.
Cottrell, suppose I leave that to your conscience. All right, men. I'll give you the password for when I come back. Password Sergeant, countersign Kelly. That's all. Crawling out here alone in my belly. Me. Fine-looking sort of hero I am. They gave me a chance to change my mind. Why didn't I? Because I wanted to prove Tom Benedict wrong, or because I didn't just want to take the comfortable way, or because I...
Because you know I'd do it if I were alive.
What?
Come now, lad. Surely you know your old sergeant's voice.
Yes, but...
Don't worry. I'll be with you. And you're doing fine. That sentry never even saw you go by. But you'll have to watch sharp. That little contraption. There to your left.
The radio.
That's right. And you know what to do?
Pull all the wires out.
That's fine. Fine. You've got your water bottles filled?
Yeah. Yes, they're all filled.
Then what about a little food? Those boxes straight ahead.
Tinned beef. About half a case, you think?
Now, don't let your eyes run away with you, lad. Those cans can make a noise. You'll have to put Jerry on his guard. You see? My, but you are the noisy one. You've got 'em all up now. Too bad, my boy. You'll have to fight your way out.
Well, let them come. I got 3 grenades.
You'll only need one if you make it count. Do you see those piled up cases off to the right?
Ammunition dump.
Correct. Now, out with that grenade. Now pull the pin. Now count. 1, 2. Now, let it go. Nice work, lad. I hope you pull through.
Steady now. You're going to be fine, Corporal. Just don't try to move.
Well, where is this?
Base hospital at Cairo. You've been here 3 days, though you didn't know it.
But how?
Relief Patrol picked you up. The others, too. And I'd like to be the first to congratulate you.
Congratulate me? What for?
The Distinguished Conduct Medal, of course.
Oh, that's silly. They don't give a man a DCM just for saving his own skin.
That isn't what the newspapers said.
Newspapers?
They've made you out quite a hero. And the London papers must have it, too. There's a cable here for you.
A cable? Could I...
Of course. I'll open it for you. Here you are.
To Corporal Colin Spence, Base Hospital, Cairo.
According to the papers, you found what we once talked about. Darling, will you ask me now?
Val, I am asking. Will you, Val? I won't take no for an answer.
Corporal, do you always talk to yourself?
What? I was just thinking up a cable, nurse. Could you get it off for me?
Just like that. I won't take no for an answer.
Well, it is a little strong, I'm afraid. Just say, I won't take no for an answer. Please.
Thank you, Francho Tone, Maureen O'Sullivan, Alan Mowbray, Morton Lowry, and Charles Irwin for your fine performances tonight with the Lady Esther Screen Guild Players. We hope you'll all be back again soon.
It's more than a pleasure to come here, Mr. Bradley. It's a privilege to visit the Screen Guild Players. And we always take away with us the warmest thoughts of how much these radio broadcasts do to help support the Motion Picture Relief Fund, Country House, and Clinic. And now, before we hear about next week's show, a word from America's foremost beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Thank you, Miss O'Sullivan. To every girl or woman who is listening to me at this moment, I make a promise. I promise exciting new skin beauty after just a few applications of Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream. I couldn't make this promise if I weren't quite sure I'd be able to keep it. All I ask you to do is get yourself a little jar of Lady Esther Face Cream and try it. I know that the very first time you rub it on, wipe it off, and apply your face powder, you'll know that Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream is no ordinary cream. You'll know it's something special, an entirely new and different kind of face cream. You see, Lady Esther Face Cream, this one scientific cream by itself, takes care of 4 of the most vital needs of your skin. It thoroughly cleans your skin. It softens your skin. It helps nature refine the pores, and it leaves a smooth, flattering base for powder. So accept my challenge. Try Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream and compare it with any other cream you've ever used. Look at your skin before you use my cream, and look at it afterward. Run your fingers over your face and feel your skin after using Lady Esther Face Cream. I just wish I could be there when you do it, because I can almost hear you say, "Why, I never knew any cream could be as beautifying as Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream."
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild Players will present Theodora Goes Wild. It will star Hanley Stafford, Cary Grant, and Irene Dunn. Be sure to listen. Francho Tone is currently being seen in True to Life. Morton Lowry can soon be seen in The Man in Half Moon Street. Both are Paramount productions. Alan Mowbray is featured in Universal Pictures' forthcoming Deanna Durbin production, His Butler's Sister. Charles Irwin can soon be seen in the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer picture, White Cliffs of Dover. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Remember, the larger sizes of Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream and Lady Esther Face Powder are more economical. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther, saying thank you. Good night, all.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players. The Screen Guild play tonight, Theodora Goes Wild. The starring players...
This is Irene Dunn.
This is Cary Grant. This is Hanley Stafford.
Tonight, Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players in one of your all-time favorite screenplays. Columbia Pictures' great success, Theodora Goes Wild. It stars Cary Grant as Michael Dobbs, Irene Dunn as Theodora, and Hanley Stafford as Arthur Stevenson. The Lady Esther Screen Guild Players in Theodora Goes Wild. What happens when a sensational first novel by Carolyn Adams defies all the customary conventions of print? What happens? Why, all America reads it, of course. Boston.
Slowly, he started moving toward her. "Shall I take your coat?" he asked, his words uttered like soft
The Bronx.
caress. "Of course you'll stay a while," he breathed, his eyes burning through her. She felt helpless and imprisoned by...
And Barlow Corners.
She could feel his breath upon her cheek. As soft music filled the room. "The night has just begun," he said. And then, with a shocking, terrible suddenness, his lips found hers. The room went dark. Hot cigarette.
And now, since all America is asking, who is this Carolyn Adams that wrote this book? Let's step into her publisher's office and find out.
Well, it's certainly about time you got into town. I've been shoveling money into your bank account like mad, and I've got the movie rights for you to sign, and... Well, haven't you anything to say?
Have you got an aspirin, please?
Of course. Janet, an aspirin for Miss Adams.
Yes, sir.
Now, Theodora, let's...
Mr. Stevenson, please don't mention that name.
Huh?
I'm Carolyn here, Carolyn Adams.
Still scared of Linfield, Connecticut, eh? Still scared they'll find out that Carolyn Adams is Theodora Lynn.
I think I'd just about die of shame.
But, my dear young girl...
Were you raised in a small town by a maiden aunt? No. Have you taught Sunday school for the past 10 years? No. Have you played the organ in church since you were 15? No. Well, I have. And right now I ask myself, where did Carolyn Adams come from? How did all this start?
You walked in one day with a very promising manuscript.
Oh, I thought it was just romantic. I must have been mad. Yesterday I had to read it aloud to my aunt. It sounded positively indecent.
But profitable. Tell me, how did you manage to get away today?
They think I'm visiting Adelaide Perry. She's supposed to have a job down here.
Well, hasn't she?
No. You see, Adelaide is... Well, I'm sorry, it's a secret.
Well, you keep her secret and I'll keep yours. I promise you the identity of Carolyn Adams will never be known. No one will ever find...
Janet, old girl, you know that's silly. Steve is always into me.
Listen.
Forget it, darling. I'll just go in.
He's coming in.
Oh, hello.
He's in.
Well, now, there's a profound observation. Michael Dobbs is me name.
Mr. Stevenson, you promised...
Oh, he's harmless. Michael, run along and stop bothering Miss Adams.
Miss Adams? Oh, Carolyn Adams? Well, you ought to meet me, Miss Adams. I painted the woman for the cover of your book, that glorious woman.
She may be glorious, but she's also underdressed.
Oh, sorry, that's how I found her between the covers of your book.
Mr. Dobbs, if you don't mind.
You're Carolyn Adams. Mm-hmm.
Going? Well, what about our business?
Well, I'm sorry, but I promised to drop in on Adelaide.
Then how about later? Dinner, maybe?
Oh, no, I couldn't. I have to catch an early train back back home.
Oh, home? Where's that, Miss Adams?
Well, it's
out west. Way out west on the range.
Yes, it's out west.
Look, can't you take a later train? We've simply got to get these details cleaned up. All we need is an hour at dinner. Just the two of us.
Well, of course, if it's important.
Well, now, that's swell. We can accomplish a lot in an hour.
Yes, especially if Mr. Stevenson and I are alone.
I thought it might be fun if you'd never been in a Swedish restaurant.
Well,
like it?
This foreign food's pretty much of a mystery.
Speaking of mysteries, you certainly had Michael popping all right.
Michael? Oh, Mr. Dobbs. He seemed a little mad.
He is. Why, he's apt to do anything.
Oh.
I remember once when he was...
Mr. Stevenson, look.
Oh, hello. Hello, it's me again, it's me.
Michael, where did you come from?
Well, now, my mother says heaven, and my friends say... but then you know what friends say. Well, I'm glad you got here on time. I'm ravenous.
Did anyone ask you to have dinner with us?
Well, did anyone ask me not to? Wonderful food we have here, Miss Adams.
Yes, I could guess from the way your plate is loaded.
Well, you know how it is with growing boys.
No. How is it with growing boys?
You got me, pal. How would I know?
Your martini, Mr. Stevenson.
Oh, my. What, only one? Dear me. Come. Aren't you having anything, Miss Adams?
No, not drinking, thank you.
What, you mean you never drink?
Did I say I never drink?
No, but you look like you never drink. And for Carolyn Adams, that's very strange. Now, tell me.
It's no use, Michael. Carolyn just won't take her back hair down.
Oh, I was just wondering. Has she any back hair? After all, a single cocktail...
You know, all this talk about drinking's made me just a trifle thirsty.
Oh, now we're getting somewhere. A martini, Miss Adams?
Straight whiskey, Mr. Dobbs. Come on, Stevie. You're 3 courses late.
Say, you and Michael aren't eating dinner. You're drinking it.
I was just showing the gentleman my back hair. Would you say it was down now, Mr. Dobbs? Would you?
Well, I wouldn't say it wasn't.
You wouldn't say it wasn't. Well, then skull, Michael. Skull! Oh, pure accident.
Look, Carolyn, it's getting late. Maybe I should take you to your train.
Oh, what'd you rush, Stevie? They run all night.
Sure. Why don't you go home, old man? I can put her on the train.
Sure, you can be on the train.
Sure, that'll give us time to run up to Harlem.
Sure, we can run up to Harlem.
Carolyn, there's a little hot spot I know.
A little hot spot?
Yeah. Unless, of course, you don't dance, too.
Oh, what do you mean I don't dance, too? Did I say I didn't dance, too?
How you doing?
I'm flying, Michael. I'm floating on a breeze.
Ouch!
Oh, pure accident.
Oh, go on. That was no accident. That was my foot.
You had your mind all made up about me, didn't you? Thought I didn't drink, thought I didn't dance.
Yeah, thought of other things I'd like to tell you. Only you'd never visit a man's apartment. Or would you?
Well, did I say I wouldn't?
This is it, my dear. My own little nest.
Oh, it's a lovely little place, Michael. So cozy and intimate.
Yeah, well, that's something coming from an expert.
Oh, well, you know how it is. Who, me?
Well, now, after all, anyone who could write such a sensational novel must be experienced.
Oh, yes.
Shall I take your coat?
My coat?
Yes, of course. You'll stay a while, won't you, my dear?
Well, naturally, why not?
Oh, I don't know. This hour of the night, a man's apartment, lights soft and low.
Yes, it's charming. It's perfectly charming.
Drink?
Yes, I was just going to mention that.
Scotch again?
Yes, well, why do you look at me like that? You were going to mix a drink.
Carolyn.
Oh, I'd better go. It's getting late.
Late? Why, the night has just begun.
Oh, no.
You're very beautiful, my dear.
No, please.
Oh, you're adorable, enchanting. Oh, you darling.
No. Stop. Don't you dare. I'm going now. Don't you follow me. I'll scream if you do. One move and I'll scream. I'll call the police. That's what I'll do. I'll call the police.
Pardon me, ma'am. I'm a stranger in Linfield.
Yes?
I'm looking for the Lynn home.
Don't seem to me you're looking very hard, hanging right on the front gate and whistling on the Sabbath. I declare I don't know what we're coming to.
Michael, what are you doing here?
Well, you forgot your purse in my apartment. Here it is.
Now, see here, Mr. Michael Dobbs.
Dewberry is the name, ma'am. Right smart weather we're having.
You get out of this town as fast as you can.
Now, is that the way to greet an old friend, an old drinking companion? Hmm?
Michael, listen. My Aunt Mary's in there. She heard you whistling and sent me out to get rid of you. And Adelaide's mother's in there, too, Mrs. Perry, the worst gossip in town.
Fine old homestead you got here, lady.
Oh, will you please go?
Of course, your lawn looks seedy. Those vines need training.
Oh, Michael, don't joke.
I'm not joking. You could use a gardener.
Don't be absurd. We never had one.
Lady, you've got one.
Now, listen, Michael. Oh. Where did he come from?
I found him at the station. He's the only one who'd come down to meet me. We're throwing in together, aren't we, Jake? I call him Jake.
Michael, please.
What's going on out there? What does he want, Theodora?
I want work, ma'am. Work.
He says he's a gardener, Auntie.
Not interested. We don't need a gardener, and if we did, we wouldn't hire a loafing stranger.
Oh, I'm no loafer, ma'am. I was just telling the little lady here about my life.
Well, don't go shouting it out there on the street.
Oh, well, you're right, ma'am. I'll come in. Get along, little doggy, get along, little doggy, get along. Howdy, neighbor. Get along, little doggy, get... Morning, squire. Get along, little doggy, get along, little doggy.
Lunatic. Huh? Oh. What are you doing with that dog hitched to the lawnmower? Good morning, Mrs. Cobb.
Morning, Theodora.
Can't stage a circus in this front yard. Unhitch that barking dog and stop the... Oh, good morning, Miss Wilson.
Nice day, Theodora.
Go on, unhitch him.
Oh, all right. Now, run along, Jake, and remember it's a disgrace to have a little fun in Linfield. Well, what now, ma'am?
Come on, get down behind this hedge where they can't see us. Here, take this trowel and pretend to be busy.
Okay, lady.
Michael, look. You've had your laugh. Why don't you go away?
Why don't you?
Well, I'm happy here.
Go on. No quaking rabbit was ever happy. What you need is a big, broad, flexible outlook.
What I need is for you to go back to New York.
That's what I mean. Here you are, full of normal desires, but they're being strangled. And for a lovely woman with a talent, that's a sin.
Well, what can you do about it?
Plenty. I'm going to break you out of this jail.
You wouldn't tell them about Carolyn Adams.
No. You're going to do that yourself.
You're mad.
No, I'm not. Remember the big, broad, flexible outlook.
Idiot, look what you've done to that rose bush. It's almost out of the ground.
Well, bless my sinner's soul.
Transplanting, no doubt.
Not a bad idea. You keep a bush in one place too long, it uses up all the nourishment in that spot. Then you know what happens? It stops growing, settles down to a dull existence.
Mm-hmm. Well, that takes care of the flowers. Now the birds?
Nope, no birds. Now about people. Sometimes people need new soil, too, with new life in it. Mm-hmm. Trouble is, most plants and people are dead and don't know it.
Oh. So you're going to resurrect me?
Well, that wasn't exactly the word. But I think you sort of got the idea.
Act One of Theodora Goes Wild, starring Cary Grant, Irene Dunn, and Hanley Stafford. Before we hear Act Two, a word from our hostess, Lady Esther.
Do you remember the song that was so popular a few years back? The song about wishing will make it so? Well, wishing may help some things come true, but it won't make a dry, rough skin look any softer or smoother. It won't make blackheads or big pores disappear. Won't ease away tired lines around the eyes and mouth. If you want a wonderfully clean, fresh-looking skin, the kind of skin that makes your whole appearance seem more youthful and attractive, you must do something about it. And I mean something more than just wishing. You must give your skin regular, daily care. And now, thanks to modern science, all you need for that purpose is one cream. Millions of women all over the country, no doubt, many of them your neighbors, your own friends, can tell you that today all you need to keep your skin looking its youngest and loveliest is Lady Esther 4-Purpose Face Cream. For this one cream by itself takes care of 4 of the most vital and important needs of your skin. First, Lady Esther Face Cream thoroughly cleans your skin, leaving it immaculately fresh. Second, it softens your skin and helps smooth away any dry, taut look around your eyes or mouth. Third, it makes your skin look lovelier and more delicate by helping nature refine the pores. And fourth, it leaves a smooth base for powder. Just try Lady Esther 4-Purpose Face Cream and see why millions of lovely women now use no other cream for the complete daily care of their skin.
curtain rises on the second act of Theodora Goes Wild, starring Irene Dunn as Theodora, Cary Grant as Michael Dobbs, and Hanley Stafford as Arthur Stevenson. Well, Michael Dobbs is still in Linfield, posing as an humble gardener and teaching Theodora the big, broad, flexible outlook. His educational course includes many things. A trip to the woods to gather berries.
When he's nice, he's nice. I sort of like him, really.
Then a little fishing trip.
He's good looking, too. A wonderful smile.
And then, inevitably, a kiss.
What's happening? I liked it.
Of course, in the meantime, local tongues had begun to wag. And now Theodora is excitedly telling Michael all about it.
It was just like a delegation, Michael, with Mrs. Perry as a sort of a spokesman, but I told them off all right.
You did?
It's a free country, I said. I'm over 21, and what I choose to do is none of Linfield's business. I invited the whole town to go jump in the lake. That gardener will stay as long as I want him, and that's forever because I love him, I said.
You did? You did?
That's what I told them, Michael. And it's true.
Oh, that's what you told them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, darling, I was so thrilled to hear myself say it, and proud, too. Well, I guess we have a lot to talk about, Michael.
Yeah, I guess we have. Well, better not start tonight, though, huh?
Are you proud of me, Michael?
Oh, I'll tell the world, baby.
Baby. Oh, I never thought anyone would call me that. Oh, would you like to kiss baby goodnight? Would you?
Huh? Oh, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Until tomorrow, darling.
Sure, until tomorrow.
Michael, are you there? That's funny. Where is he, Jake? Where is he? What's the matter? Oh, a note. A note. Oh, all right. I've got it. All right, just give me a chance to read it. Theodora, you're free, baby. Step out and be yourself. I'm on my way again to find more gardens to set in order. Good luck. And kiss Carolyn Adams for me. Oh, Jake.
Mr. Dobbs. Mr. Dobbs, wake up.
Huh? What?
10 o'clock, Mr. Dobbs. Somebody's here to see you.
Oh, this early? Who?
Well, it's a kind of a... That's him.
Hey, it's Jake.
Hello, Michael.
Theodora. What are you doing down here?
You forgot your dog.
Oh. Hey, Hemingway, keep that hound quiet. Take him out of the kitchen. Have you got a bone?
No, sir, I ain't got no bone, but I got a mighty nice lemon pie.
Mr. Dobbs, we had something to talk about, remember?
Yes, I remember. Well, I'll admit you've got an explanation coming. I ran away because,
Because I threw myself at you and you were frightened.
No, because I felt the same way about you, and I had no right to.
Why not? Michael, why not?
Well, I'm married.
Married?
No, not really married. We've been washed up for 5 years. I haven't seen her for 3.
But, Michael...
I know all that. Why don't I clean the decks, get a divorce? That's just the trouble, I can't.
Well, I don't understand.
Well, my father's in politics. He's lieutenant governor. A scandal in the family would hit him hard. You know how politics are. I promised there wouldn't be any divorce while he held public office. How did I know I was going to meet you?
Oh. Michael, do you love me?
Oh, darling, you know I do. Once I'm free...
How long will that take?
Another 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, 2 years. Another thing I can do about it. I'm trapped.
Oh, 2 years. Oh, you know, Michael, what you need is a model.
A what?
An artist model. The right one might be a great help to you.
I don't want a model.
Don't struggle, Michael. You've got one.
Who?
Me.
Well, what in heaven's name for?
Oh, to mow the lawn, transplant things.
Oh, I get it. Joke, huh? Very funny.
You see, Michael, you're living in a jail, too. I'm going to help you break out.
Now, look here, Theodora.
Oh, excuse me. Hello? Desk? Those bags and things that were left in the foyer. Send them up to Mr. Dobbs' apartment, please. Yes, thank you.
Why, you're mad. What will your family think?
I believe you taught me not to care, and besides, they think I'm staying with Adelaide Parry.
Well, you'll cause a scandal. You can't move in here.
I'm in.
Oh, we'll take care of that. Hemingway! Hemingway, Miss Lynn is in. Pack up. I'm out.
But, Theodora, do you know what you're doing?
Stevie, I was never more rational in my life. I want publicity, lots of it. I want to talk to reporters about my past, my present, my future, if any. I want the true story of Carolyn Adams in every paper in the country, and my picture on the jacket of every book of mine sold.
But we have no picture.
I'm having one made with my back hair down. Now, is that clear, or do I find myself another publisher?
It's clear.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Oh.
Oh, Janet.
Yes?
An aspirin, please, for Mr. Stevenson.
Yeah, see, this scotch is pretty good, too.
Oh, Miss Adams, could you tell us about your new book?
Of course. It's about a girl in a small New England town. Outwardly, she belongs to that narrow little community. But in her heart, she just longs to be called Baby.
Would that be the story of your life?
Well, I wouldn't say it wasn't.
And who would the man be?
The man? Oh, well, now, gentlemen. A lady's entitled to one secret.
Hey, what the devil's going on here, anyway?
Why, Michael!
Theodora, what's the idea of these reporters?
Say, aren't you Michael Dobbs?
Yes, and that's my scotch you're drinking.
Yeah, good.
Now, look here, Theodora.
Oh, Michael, darling, I'm so glad you're back. Baby's missed you so.
Hey, wait a minute. Lay off.
It's a clinch, Joe. Get it.
Now, Theodora, take your arms away.
Got it, Sam.
No, you don't. You don't print any picture of me. I'll break your neck.
We'll just print what we see, Mr. Dobbs.
And from where I stand, she's still got her arms around his neck.
Oh. I don't know what you're crying about, Jake. I'm the one that's in the doghouse. Look at these headlines, will you? Lieutenant Governor's son sued for divorce. Famous authoress named. Playboy artist caught playing. Oh, that's fine. Hello.
Hello, is that you, Mr. Dobbs?
Yes, Hemingway. What's she done now?
Miss Lynn? Oh, she ain't done nothing. But there's a telegram here from your father.
I was expecting that. Open it up.
I kind of had it open already. That's how I know it's from your father.
Oh, all right. Let's have it. What's it say?
It says, do not approve scandal, but have seen Miss Lynn's picture and heartily approve her. Good luck, Dad.
What? Good luck? He said that? Then, hey, Hemingway, I want to talk to Miss Lynn.
But Miss Lynn ain't here right now, Mr. Dobbs.
But do you know where she went?
Well, she said when you called to tell you she's in the Central Hospital.
The hospital?
Yes, sir. Said you could find her in the maternity ward.
Say, how far is she going to go?
She's in this room, Mr. Dobbs.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Michael, darling, hello.
Now, Theodora, this is too much. I won't have it, you hear?
Have what?
Well, this baby. You can't defy convention like this. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It isn't ridiculous to Adelaide.
Adelaide?
Mrs. Perry's girl, Adelaide. It's her baby.
Hers?
Well, Michael, don't look so shocked. She's married. She's out on the sun deck with her husband right now.
Oh, gosh. For a minute, you had me going.
The big, broad, flexible outlook, huh?
Oh, well. After all, what do you expect? How do you think I'd feel about the girl I'm going to marry?
Marry?
It's all right with Dad. My divorce will come up in a couple of weeks, and I'll be free, and... Well, will you, Theodora?
Oh, Michael, darling.
Yeah. Just a quiet little wedding, and then a honeymoon, and then we'll both get back to work. I'll paint, you'll write.
And then?
Adelaide didn't have such a bad idea. Maybe after a while, maybe we'll, well, what do you think, darling?
Well, I didn't say we won't.
Dunn, Mr. Grant, and Mr. Stafford for bringing us the story of Theodora Goes Wild. The Lady Esther Screen Guild players are indeed grateful that you could be our guests tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Bradley. We're all aware of the fine work being done by the Motion Picture Relief Fund and Clinic. And to know that the benefits from this program support that work makes our annual appearance with the Lady Esther Screen Guild players a real pleasure. We'll be back soon. And now, before we tell you about next week's program, here's a word from one of America's best-known beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Thank you, Miss Dunn. Ladies, do you know why I make only one kind of face cream instead of a whole long line of beauty preparations? Because one cream is all you need, and anything else is sheer waste. Does your skin feel a little rough when you touch it with your fingers, a little dry and flaky? Then see how quickly Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream loosens and absorbs those clinging flakes, makes your skin feel soft and smooth again. Does your skin look dust-laden and grimy at the end of the day, the pore openings clogged with dirt and stale makeup? Well, see how thoroughly Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream cleans and refreshes your skin, leaving it with a look of radiant, immaculate grooming. Yes, and see how much finer the texture of your skin looks after using Lady Esther Face Cream. See how much smoother your face powder looks on your skin, how much younger and more attractive your whole appearance has become. Lady Esther Face Cream asks no help of any other cream or lotion. It cleans your skin, softens your skin, helps nature refine the pores, and leaves a perfect base for powder. I know that when you start using it, all your friends will think something wonderful must have happened to you. You look so gay and blooming. So ask for Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream and start using it for a fresher, lovelier, younger-looking skin.
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild players will present Only Yesterday. It will star Loretta Young and Joseph Cotton. Be sure to listen. Irene Dunn will soon be seen in the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer production, A Guy Named Joe. Cary Grant is soon to be seen in the Columbia picture, Yes, Sir, That's My Baby. Hanley Stafford can also be heard as radio's popular character, Daddy, on the Baby Snooks program. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. For economy's sake, get the largest size of Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream and the larger size of Lady Esther Face Powder. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther, saying thank you. And good night, all.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.